everyone. Okay, so I am back and we are using Doodlebug Cute and Crafty. That's what we're using today. So, oh gosh, let's get started. So I made it a priority today to get this layout done. That way I had a video to film because I really wanted to film a video. And yeah, and so I barely got done. So this is like hot off the press. Yeah, so yeah, it didn't even have time to sit, you guys. And so I am ready to film. I'm ready to get going and just have fun with it. So I love how this one came out. This was Easter week, and it was also the week that my mom and I went to Soya in Las Vegas. And we, you know, can't say enough about it as far as like we had fun together. If you live in Vegas, you guys are lucky you have that store because it's, you know, pre-cut Wonderland, you know. And but like I said when I came back, I wouldn't purposely go there just for that. But they just opened up a new business called Scrap Apple. And I guess this woman passed away in Utah, St. George, Utah. Last year is what I googled and read about it. I've never even heard about it, and so, you know, that's kind of it was kind of interesting. So now I'm gonna have to get over to Utah to go to St. George and go visit their new store. And they've been having a lot of you know, deals and stuff, because I don't know anything, but I don't, you know, with saying that, I don't know if they had if it was closed for a while or what. And so they had a lot of inventory, and they've been destashing it and stuff and doing flash sales and stuff. I got like 4 things today. I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta stay off the dang YouTube. I gotta stop getting alerts by them. So this was Cheyenne hosted Easter this year, and these are our neighbors, you guys. These are our neighbors. He looks like my dad. And so when I first met him, I was like, oh my gosh, you look like my dad. They barely moved in like 2 years ago. And he's 10 years younger than my dad, has had 3 heart attacks. And it's just crazy. But they are Persian, and they are just the most friendliest people ever. In fact, they are such good people that that Cheyenne, she calls him Grandpa. And he loves it, and I call him Dad, and he loves it. And so he is our dad and our grandpa. And they came to the bridal shower. They came to her Easter party. They're just so they are just the best grandparents to my kid. And they don't know Cordell, and Cordell, you know, he doesn't come around like Cheyenne does. So they don't know Cordell. But they love Cheyenne and Matt. They absolutely love them. And so, you know, and I just found out that they text Cheyenne and they tell her they love her, and they say, you know, I hope you have a good day and be safe at work. And I'm like, gosh, if only they were her true grandparents, you know, like biological grandparents, that would have been amazing. And I just, you know, she only has my parents, and that's it. And it's so nice that she has another set of grandparents, and they are so funny because I think it was the bridal shower. Yeah, the bridal shower. They gave her $50 gift card. Well, Easter, Dad, he goes and he says, Sherry, that's the mom, the grandma. She says, Cheyenne, I made a mistake. And so she tells Cheyenne, she goes, I made a mistake. And Vahid tells her, that's his name, Vahid and Sherry. And they said, this Cheyenne's BFF and her little boy and her husband. And, they said Sherry made a mistake and gave her a $50 gift card to Target, and he was so upset. And so he says, "Do you have the gift card? Because you know, you know, let me exchange it because I didn't want to give you $50. So then they gave her $100, and it was just so sweet. It was just like, oh my gosh, you guys. I don't know about you guys, but I had cruddy grandparents growing up. I mean, I had my grandmother, who's my dad's mom, hated us. She absolutely hated, well, she hated me completely. And my dad, it was her favorite, it's her oldest and her favorite. And when he married my mom, she hated my mom. And then that, you know, projected onto me, and so she never ever treated us right. We never got Christmas gifts, we never got birthday gifts, we never even got a happy birthday. And so she was just a cruddy grandparent. And it's sad because honestly, you guys, if she would have and she treated Tim, when she first met Tim, oh my god, you guys, it was so embarrassing. She treated him like crud because she was, you know, she's a racist. And so she barely died like last year or so. She didn't like white people. And I'm like, so she treated my husband like crud. And it was just like, wow, if she would have only known that if she was a good person, like if she was a good person, she never would have been, we would have taken her out to breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We would have had her at our house. We would have visited her. We would have done anything and everything for her if she was a good person. But she wasn't. She wasn't a good person. And she, you know, she hated her daughters. But they pretend as if she didn't, which is hilarious. And but she did. She hated them. And then she's a hateful woman. She hated her daughter-in-laws even more. And so my dad knew that he never wanted to be like her. And so he, you know, he is the best dad, and he is the best grandparent, best grandparent ever. And it's just amazing, night and day, you know. And so yeah, it's sad. It's sad because I never even did it. I was just a kid, you know, I didn't do anything. I had manners galore, you know, everything. But she had no love to give to anybody but her sons. And her daughters were, you know, beneath her shoe. And, you know, and it's sad because at the end of her life, I think 2 or 3 of them really took care of her. And she didn't have love for them. She really didn't. And it's funny when they, you know, because I know that for me, I live in reality, and I'm not a PC person. I am not someone who sugarcoats things. I'm not one who lives in La La Land who goes, you know, when this person died, they were amazing, you know. No, they weren't. They were garbage, you know. It was just like, come on. You know, like that meme says, don't say that I lit up a room every time I walked in. No, I was a pain in the butt, you know. And I'm like, you had to be wary. You had to watch your step, you know, things like that. But I personally am not going to have a burial. I'm going to be cremated when I die. And I have no funeral services, nothing. Just cremate me and shove me out to sea. I don't care where you put me. I don't care where I go. But I'm dead. And that's as far as I'm concerned. I don't want to be buried. I don't want to be with the roaches. I don't want to be with anybody like that. I don't want to have people go to a gravesite and be depressed and, you know, and just... No, I don't want any of that. So honestly, I don't want a wake, no memorial, no celebration of life, nothing whatsoever. I'm dead. Let me go. I'm good. And so, so when people say, "Oh, my mom was amazing, and she did this and she did that," and you're like, "No, she didn't." When you were somebody else looking in, you're like, "No, you didn't. You're always complaining and you're always doing this and that." It's like, no, you know, why don't you just be truthful? You're not going to down below because you're being honest and saying, no, they weren't a good person, or no, they weren't all that great. You know, it's okay. It's okay. And I'm okay with people saying that about me because honestly, you know, I'm a pain in the butt. I really am. I am very vocal. I am very confrontational. I don't take any poop off anybody. You know, and I'm okay with that. I know who I am and I own who I am. And so, but yeah, and it just, you know, I feel bad for, you know, my kids because they only have one set of grandparents that are amazing. And now they have an adoptive set. And I just, you know, for me and Tim, it's like, we know how we want to be. We want to be just like, my husband got a new watch. We want to be like my parents. My parents are our role models. We will do everything possible to make sure grandkids have an amazing life. So, you know, and that they are spoiled and that they know that they are loved unconditionally, like completely unconditionally. And so, yeah, so that is, you know, my parents are amazing, you guys. They really are. And it's, if you guys have kids that, you know, and your parents are amazing, you know, just know that it's rare. It honestly is rare. And it's so sad. So yeah, but it's just, you know, just to find out that they text her and they love her, and, you know, they're like there for her, and they're like, Cheyenne, when you have kids, we'll babysit. And I'm like, good, because I'm not going to. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So that's the joke. The joke, right? Because you guys already know me and the fact that we're not babysitting, and we're not raising our grandkids. We will love them and everything else, and, you know, I'll babysit when I want to babysit. But mainly because I'm old and I'm tired and I physically can't. I'm tired. And so let me tell you a real quick story about this. So my mom and my dad, they love to gamble. I do not even put a penny into a machine. I refuse to. And so my mom, we went and had, because we went up to Vegas for the day. We flew up in the morning, we played, and then we came home that same night. So we did it all in one day. Well, so we went and had Junior's cheesecake, which, if you ever been in New York, it is the best cheesecake you'll ever have in your life. It is amazing. And so, well, they opened up one in a casino. I don't even remember what the casino's name is. But anyways, it's in Vegas, and they opened. I said, Mom, we're going. And she's like, okay. And so, my mom, you know, she goes with the flow. And so, we went and then we traded off, like she got breakfast, you know, things like that, you know, we trade off on who buys what, you know. And so, well, I said I got dinner, so we went to dinner, and I said, Mom, I had to wait for the check. The service was lousy. The food was not good. My mom loved hers, but, you know, you really can't screw up fried food. But when you have brisket that is like, you treat it like it's a steak, because it's so hard and it's so gross, and it's like, oh my God, this is so gross. So yeah, it was really gross, you guys. They sucked at brisket. So, but anyway, so I said, Mom, I gotta wait for the check. Go, you know, go do a slot real quick, you know, because we didn't have time to gamble or anything like that. And so she's like, okay. And so she took off, and she went to go gamble real quick. And I went and I found her like 10 minutes later, and she won $50. She put in $5 and won 50. She's like, okay, I'm good. So then we left, but it was just so cute because, yeah, she won $50. And I'm like, that's amazing, Mom. That's awesome. So happy for her. And it was so fun. So my husband, he has a coworker that he only sees every so often, but this coworker gave, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but a lot of it says, I can't punch people, so I bake, you know, things like that. They're very sarcastic little mitts, oven mitts and stuff. It's going to take a second just to yeah, there we go. And, but he, I've only seen this kid like once a year. But he thought of me, and he bought me that set, the 2 oven mitts and a flat oven mitt. And I'm like, oh my goodness, you guys. So amazing, so nice. And I was blown away. I'm like, holy crap, I don't get gifts, you know. And when I get gifts from a friend I'm like blown away because it doesn't happen in my world. And so, you know how long I've had Buy Me a Coffee on YouTube on my little header, and nobody's ever used it, and $2 or whatever, nobody's ever used it. So people don't do that. And but I put it up there because I thought it'd be fun. I thought it was cute. And so, because I love that whole Buy Me a Coffee, you know, I just love that. But anyway, so yeah, so he bought me that. So I don't like taking. I don't like just taking, and it bothers me to do that. And so it's hard not to give someone money, or it's hard not to make something. So for this kid, I was like, okay, so I made him a firefighter pillowcase as a thank you because I just don't want to take. It's just not my way. And, you know, and I know nobody gives something so that they can get something in return. It's not like that at all. And, but it's just, it's harder for me to, you know, kind of like accept that kind of stuff. And because it was a lot of money, you know, and it was very thoughtful, and it just, wow, very thoughtful, a lot of money. And so, yeah, so I made him a pillowcase, and he liked it. So that was cool. So I like the tit for tat sort of stuff. I like that a lot. So, I just think, I just, yeah, it's just my way. It's just my personality. It's just hard to, you know, take. And, there's a lot of users in this world, you guys. A lot of people who want everything for free, and, you know, like you have stuff for sale and they're like, no, I don't want it. And then the minute you say, hey, it's free, then you got people lining up at the door, and you're like, wait a minute, you didn't want it when it was $5, but now that it's free, you're like at the door ready to go. And I'm like, wait a minute, you couldn't afford $5, but now you want it, but it's, yeah. So anyways, it's just, it is what it is, right, guys? So, you know, it is what it is. So this was Cheyenne's tablescape. I don't know if that's the right, I think that's how you say it, but I don't know if you'll be able to see it that well. But that was her setup, and behind the chairs is the buffet, and so it was cute. So I had the eggs for Easter, you know, sort of thing. So anyway, so I told you about my mom, told you about the grandparents, and, but yeah, so anyway, so, yeah, I just, you know, if my grandmother was a good person, then it would have been amazing, you guys. It would have been so cool. And she had, you know, she had, I don't know how many, I only have a mom and a dad and a brother, and my 2 kids and my husband. That's and now Matt. But that's all I have for family. And so I don't claim anybody else. And so, you know, they never were good to me. I only had like an uncle that was really good to me when I was younger, and so I allowed him to be in my life on Facebook because he was good to me when I was younger, you know, and I remember that, and that to me I appreciate, and so I allowed him into my life. But everybody else, and a cousin who I really got along with, and who's a really good guy. And so I have two of them, but that's basically my dad's nephew and my dad's brother. And that is it. And so that is who I've allowed into my life. And mainly because it's just drama. It's drama. They never, no one could ever be happy for each other. They always had to be so, like, backbiting, jealous of each other, everything else. And so I'm like, I want no part of that stuff. That's just a mess that I have no interest in. And so, yeah, I don't accept that in my life. I don't want any of that. I don't believe because you're blood related that you have to bend over backwards to stay in the family, or to be nice to that family member, or to take the abuse. Toxic is toxic, hate is hate, and nobody should allow that in their lives, because it's detrimental to your health. It really is. And it's like, who are they to be able to do that to you? Nobody. And so why are you allowing that to happen? And so nobody is worth, we only get one life, you guys. Tomorrow is never promised. So why should you take that kind of toxicity? Why should you? Who are they? Nobody. You know, if it was true family or true friends, they wouldn't do things like that to you. They really, really wouldn't. And that's just not acceptable. It really isn't. I don't think it's right. I don't think, and then if you do something back to them, they're all a victim. Then they become a victim, and you're like, wait a minute, how are you a victim? And it's like, because they can't, they can only dish out, but they can't take it. And it's like, no, that doesn't work for me. So it really doesn't. And so, yeah, so I choose to stay out of that stuff. And I choose to, you know, I choose to stay home and quilt and read my books and cross stitch and PO, because you know what? Out there is drama and just hate and misery. And I don't want it in my life. And I don't need it in my life. So, yeah. And it's simple, you guys. It really is so simple. And my dad has no problem with it. My mom has no problem with it, because, yeah, because they just know I don't accept it and I don't need it. So when we went to Las Vegas, I rented a car, and so I rented the car. But that's the So Yeah sign right there. It's huge. And oh, I was telling you about Scrap Apple. So they opened up the store in St. George called Scrap Apple. So now my mom and I are like, how are we gonna get to St. George, Utah? Utah is only like 2-hour flight from here, so I'm thinking about it for next year, of course. But yeah, and that'll give them time to fix the store up and do everything they want to it and all that good stuff. So yeah, so something to look forward to for next year. And I'm really thinking of, Talwin, be good. Really thinking of doing a quilt cruise, but with my husband. And so my husband's like, because I was like, man, I wish my mom cruised, you know, things like that. You know, she's going on her first cruise next week, but you know, I just don't know if she's going to enjoy it or not. And so, but my husband's like, I'll go with you. He's all, why would you think I wouldn't go with you? He's all, because when we go on cruises, we stay in the room because we are total introverts. We only go out to eat, you know, we go feed, and then we leave, we go back to the room. And so we get a balcony or, you know, a suite, or, you know, we do all the perks because we like to stay in our room. And that's our jam. And we enjoy just laying down on the bed. No hair. No hair on our butt cheeks, you know, so there's a plus. When you sleep with 4 dogs, you kind of get, you know, a little bit of hair, and you're like, wait, this isn't my hair. So yeah, so you kind of, you know, you have to take the good with the bad, right? And so hold on, hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, guys, sorry. So I left you with that little bit of visual there. But, you know, we have dogs, they sleep with us, so it's like sleeping with the fishes, right? You're gonna come, when you go swim in the ocean, you come out and you smell like the ocean, you smell like fish. So yeah. So where was I? I think I showed you that one. I think I was here. This is So Yeah's cell room. So it's a whole room just with nothing but their cell stuff. So that was pretty awesome. Yeah. So let me bring everything back over here so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. But anyway, so I had to charge my what do you call it? Camera, and I hope there's enough juice in it to finish the rest of it. If not, I'm gonna have to finish it tomorrow. But in the meantime, went and had some watermelon, and I love watermelon. It's my absolute favorite fruit. I'm like, oh, watermelon, strawberries, pineapple, yeah. Oh, so good, you guys. But watermelon is my absolute favorite. And so I buy 2 at a time, and I may or may not eat 2 of them at a time. So, but what we figured is, because we feed all our wildlife here, that, you know, we give them all the rinds, and if the watermelon's bad, then they get the whole watermelon. And I'll tell you what, you guys, wildlife love watermelon. So they love the fact that I buy 2 at a time. Here is my awesome family. There they are. So my son, my dad, my daughter, and my mom. So my mom's very pasty white, but she's full-blooded Mexican. So it's always funny when I'm with her, because, you know, we don't look like mother and daughter, because I look like my dad. And but my mom, and then it's funny because they don't realize she's Mexican, and she was born in Bronzeville, Texas. My dad was born in Bakersfield, California. And my mom, I think my grandfather's like a Spaniard kind of Mexican. I'm not sure how that goes. Honestly, you guys, I am amazed. Let's get into this little tangent. I am amazed at some people who do the genealogy. Holy crud. I'm like, everybody can trace back their great, you know, 15,000 greats, grandfathers to back in the day. And I'm like, I have never cared. I honestly have cared even less than anybody I know. And so I do not care at all. So I have a mom, I have a dad, I have a brother, and that is it. So I can't even tell you how many brothers and sisters my dad has because I just don't care. I honestly just don't care. And it's not, yeah, I just don't. It's more stuff in my head that I don't need. And yeah, I don't even, I think I think I know what my grandmother's name was, but I don't know her full name. And I don't know what I don't know what my grandfather and my grandmother's names were. I don't, because I just don't care, honestly. And if that makes me a bad person, so be it. Never mind, I'm a good person, but let's, you know, because I don't know my genealogy and can care less about, you know, relatives. Yeah, look at that's a waffle. So I'm going to put the name of the restaurant on there as soon as I Google it. As soon as I go to my Facebook and realize where it was that we went and ate in Vegas. So, but yeah, but it astounds me on how people can trace back their histories. I'm like, holy crud, that is a big waste of time for me because I'd rather be, you know, quilting or, yeah, I really just don't care. And anytime my kids had those projects that they had to do, I said, call grandma, because I do not know. I don't even know their names. So, yeah, and I only know that my mom's mom died at 45 because it's a concern with all our health issues. You know, I'm 49, I'm going to be 50 this year. So it's a concern, you know, to be wary of. And so that's the only reason I know that she died at 45 was because my mom was concerned for herself. And then it became a concern for me too. Because I'm like, wait a minute, is my ticker okay? So yeah, so that's why I go get tested and stuff, because I'm like, I don't want to die from, you know, and they heard a heart murmur, which she died of a heart murmur. And so I had to do that PET scan, that PET scan, but I couldn't because they couldn't put the IV in me. So I still haven't done that yet. So that's still on the to-do agenda. And I think that's going to happen in August. And they're talking about, because I'm a hard person to draw, that they're talking about putting a stent in my chest. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So they do it for cancer patients and stuff. And so I'm like, oh gosh, don't make that a precursor to my life, you know, so please don't. But it's just, that's how they figured they're going to get the IV in me, is if they put a stent or a, whatever you call it. I think it's called a stent. But yeah, so that's something to look forward to, not, but, yeah, we'll see. My mom took a picture of her in the airplane, so yeah, but anyways, I have just been going all over the place, haven't I, guys? It's just another day in my life, right, where I'm just like, you know, blah, blah, blah in it. I really do. It's so funny because, you know, I share my life with you guys, but, you know, it's not like I have, you know, like some things are secrets. Like, what do I have that's a secret? I don't do anything. I don't do anything. So what do I have to keep that you know, that there are people who suck that are supposedly related but aren't happy for you, that just can never be happy for you because they're so green with jealousy and envy, that to me that's like the biggest hate that you can ever have, is when you're jealous or when you're envious of people. And that to me is a horrible thing to be. And I never wanted to be that. So that's why I don't say I'm jealous or I'm envious of anyone, because I'm not. I'm happy for you. And I've said it before, if all my friends bought BMWs, and I'd be like ecstatic for them, like, that's awesome. But would I be sad that I didn't get one? No. It's not in my wheelhouse. It's just not something I care about. You know, it's, you know, I'm happy for my friends. I am glad everything else, but I'm not an envious or jealous person. It's just not for me. It's not. I grew up with that stuff, and I refuse to be that kind of person. So yeah, I refuse to be. I have a wonderful life, and I don't need anything else. You know, I'm good. I'm good, and I'm happy. I have an amazing husband. I have 2 amazing kids. I have amazing parents. So I don't want for anything. So I'm okay. And, you know, if I lived under a bridge, I'd still be happy. Because, you know what? I have a good life. I really do. And so I don't take it for granted. But, yeah. This is a new layout for me, you guys. I haven't done one like this before. So, hopefully, yep, I'm okay with the... I thought it matched. So I was like, you know what? I want it to fit. And I'm going to make it fit. And so I made it fit. So, I like it. But I love my books, you guys. I adore my books. So, I love reading. It's wonderful. It's a glorious, glorious thing. So, glorious, good stuff. Total good stuff. But, yeah, you guys, does anyone live in Utah? Because I'm going to go there next year. But I'm hoping to go to, Kansas City this year. I really want to go to the Chiefs game, and I want to go to Missouri Star. That's on my bucket list, you guys, to go to Missouri Star. And so I'm like, oh, I really, really want to go, and then eventually get to Paducah, and then eventually get to Marshall's Dry Goods. So yeah, those are all bucket list things that I am bound and determined to do. And yeah, so because I am a quilting fiend right now, you guys. If you guys watch any other videos, and you know that I ended up asking everyone's opinion on what quilt to do next, you know. And some people told me two different ones. And so, but I started with the Hugs and Kisses. And so in the community tab, I posted my 2 blocks that I did. And I have to do, I think, 16 blocks. So it's going to be time consuming. And I am loving it, you guys. Half square triangles. I better be really proficient at the end of this little journey with it, because I think it's like 258 half square triangles. I'm like, wow. Okay, I go from like none to 258, and I'm like, all right, you just go big or go home, right? So yeah, so that's where I'm at. And yeah, so I'm so looking forward to it though, you guys. I'm loving it. I did the 2 blocks, and it's just, it really is time consuming. So it's going to take me a while to finish it. But I did the 2 blocks, and then I added the border to I laid the border next to it to see what it would look like. And oh gosh, you guys, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So yeah, so yeah, it's going to be beautiful. I know it will be. And I'm trying my best to do right by it. You know, to do it right. So the first one I did was really, really wonky, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta concentrate. That's the whole thing too. You have to concentrate, and you know how that goes with me. It's not an easy feat. And so so yeah, I have to do my best to pay attention. And so the second one, I really paid attention, and so I just know I have to do that in order to make it work. So yeah. So that's my goal this week, is to work on that. So Tim works Wednesday and Friday, so I will, and I have nothing going on. So I decided I am going to be quilting and PLing, because I need to get my PLs done too. I'm looking forward to doing the next week's layout too, because I got more tattoos, you guys. I am all covered in them, and they are beautiful. If I do say so myself, they're beautiful tattoos. So I joke with my kids and or my husband and my daughter, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get a neck tattoo. And they look at me like in horror, and I'm like, just kidding. But I'm like, am I though? Yes, but so I'm like, oh my gosh. But yeah, they're just, yeah, they're not telling me anything, but they just give me this look of this like, oh man, please don't. So yeah. I'm too old for that stuff, so I probably won't be doing that. Yeah, in fact, I won't be doing that. But it's just funny to see their reaction. So, that made it worth it. So, it's the little things in life, you guys, that you have to find your funnies at. So, oh my gosh, you guys, last week's video was like, what, 46 minutes long? And some of you guys have watched it, and I'm like, oh, man, that's awesome. Thank you. That's loyalty right there. Whee. 46-minute video. Didn't mean for that to happen. And I'm just talking to you now, so I'm like, so I'm putting this together because I'm just want to talk to you. So yeah, so I'm not caught up or anything, and I don't have one rating for me to film for you guys. So I need to get my butt in gear and work on my layout. So that's what I'll be doing this week. Tomorrow's a bust because Tim is finally home. Tim has been gone for 5 days. And then we have a birthday party that we're throwing for our bonus son. And so I made him a quilt. And but I told Tim, I said, we got to do a quilt parade while I still have the quilt. So I'm hoping to put that on video before I give it to him. That way you can see. But look what I did for this one. Crafting Girls Making Memories. That's for me and my mom. My momsies. So, let me say thank you to Barbara Hayes, Christina Folk, and Flaming Diego. Right? Is that how you say it? Flaming Diego? Yeah, oh yeah, we were talking last week. No, I was talking last week how it's annoying when people freaking talk so loud on their phones, and it's annoying, and she was saying that, yeah, her husband tends to do that, and it drives her a little batty, but that, what drives her batty is the fact that people film, you know, and have it in other people's way. And I'm like, yeah, all of that, all of that is annoying. Because when you're just trying to enjoy a parade and you got everybody hanging up with their, you know, their videos. When I video, I tend to do it at my chest because I can, you know, why do you need to have it up higher? I don't know. You get front row seats. You know, if you know you're going to film, you try and get front row seats, right? So that way you can put it at your chest and you don't have to, you know, put it anybody else's way. There's just ways to be considerate. And it just takes seconds to be considerate, but a lot of people don't want to. They don't want to because they live in their own little world now, and to heck with you. To heck with you. Yeah, go away, you know. What do you think? I love this layout, you guys. It makes me so happy. I love how bright and cheery it is. And now that I look at it when it's all complete, I'm like, hey, oh, I did a good job. So, all right, guys. Love you guys so much. And, yeah, hopefully I'll be back soon, you guys. I'm going to try and do my best to work on things. And, oh, yeah, we'll be back. All right, guys. Take care. We'll see ya. Bye.